Okay, so this is Devin Scott. We're glad to have him here. Devin, you probably know Devin, but he's a great performer. He's a great teacher. He's been doing this for a long time. So, what kind of questions do you get from folks who are taking your seminar? What's the most common questions you get? And is there a difference between what they ask for and what they ought to ask for?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good. You know, I think the most is people come up to me and just want to see the hand technique up close, right? But the question that everyone should be asking, and what I try to really add at the end of all my workshops, is how do I do that? And that doesn't make sense, but what I mean is, how do I practice that?
Right.
Because we all just want to get it down, but the meat of it is the practice. And so I'm actually in the middle of writing a workshop right now on how to practice, right?
Perfect.
Because we come to all these workshops, we come to all these festivals, we get days of information, and then we don't know how to transfer it well to the instrument.
Right.
And I think one of the things we talk a lot about in my picking class, how to learn this stuff. And I tell people, as you're learning these finger picking patterns, if you have set aside 30 minutes to learn this, spend 25 minutes being stressed out, right, by learning this. And then the last 5 minutes, play your favorite song or whatever. That's one of those tips and tricks, right? If we have fun, the brain thinks the whole thing was fun, and it solidifies that more for the next time. So as kind of cliche as it sounds, the whole enjoy what you're doing.
Do you structure your practices? I mean, like, for instance, I have a national soccer coaching license, and they say start with a warm-up, do a little technique on how to pass, how to dribble, whatever you want to work on, and then incorporate that into free play.
Right.
And it sounds almost exactly what you're talking about in terms of practicing your ukulele.
And a lot of musicians have a go-to, like soon as you pick up your instrument, you do something. I almost always do the intro to La Vie en Rose, right? So every time I pick up my uke, I go, right? And it just that, because what I'm doing is I'm playing chords and I'm picking patterns, so I'm getting both hands kind of warmed up a little bit.
Good.
So when I practice, I do the same thing. Let's say I learned something yesterday, or I'm learning something. I review what I already know. Then I move on to, all right, this is the part where this may not be fun, but it will be later, right? And then at the end, I still even play a song that I really enjoy.
Right.
And it might be practicing too. It might be a new song that I think people are going to like to sing along to or at a concert, but I have fun with it, right? And there's not a lot of me where honestly, and you know this, there are some times when you're trying to learn a piece and it's frustrating. The last thing that I practice or play isn't frustrating. I'll just try to play Proud Mary or whatever, and if I get it, great, and if I don't, I'm like, I'll try it again tomorrow, to get that fun in.
When Bob your uncle takes on a cover, we talk about, we very seriously discuss the concept of owning the song.
Yeah.
So we'll do a Beatles song, but we'll do it like it's a New Orleans second line march or something like that. Do you do that, or do you more try to duplicate what people are used to hearing?
So there's a combination for me, because I play in a lot of bars and coffee shops and festivals, non-ukulele festivals, right? Like the 4th of July party or this or that. So when I'm getting hired for something like that, the owner or the promoter wants people to sing along, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm trying to sing them in a similar fashion, but I still always put a little spin on it,
Well, it is a ukulele, and you're playing something they're familiar with.
Right?
By nature, it's different.
Yeah. And so I get a lot of comments that go, man, we really love that we can sing along, but every song is just a little bit different than... And so that to me is a huge compliment, because I'm not trying to mimic, the song. One of the ones that I get the most is I do Piano Man, but on a ukulele. And so instead of doing it in 3/4 time, I do it in 4/4 time. And I hired a bass player in Durango, and the first time we did that song, he was like, I refuse to play it like that. But he came along, but people enjoy it. But, you know, same thing, what you're talking about. There are a few that I really, one of the fun things about being a performer is playing a well-known song differently, and then watching people kind of light up when they realize, like, wait, is this Billie Jean by Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
And it's slow, and, you know, so yeah, that's
Cool.
a lot of fun, yeah.
If you're like me, you've seen a bunch of ukulele bands.
Yes.
And some of them are pretty good.
Yep.
And some of them are not pretty good.
Right. First of all, the ukulele is so fun, and I just want people to have fun. However, the uke's the only instrument I play when I'm traveling. And so there is a little bit still of this, like, oh, the ukulele is a toy instrument or a joke instrument, or, and so my thing is, first of all, can we get away from our music? Can we not have 20 people going, I met him on a Monday and my heart says, right, you know?
Right.
And then the other thing is, again, I keep coming back to this, but seriously, have fun with it. And realize that when you're performing, put on a show for people, right? You know, you're not performing for your music. And then I think everybody feels this way, and a lot of songs go with it, but there is more than one strum on the ukulele. It's not all. And that's what I teach in my Spice Up Your Strumming class. You know, just that down, down, up, down, up can sound so different if you add a few chucks.
Right.
Right? And so just little things like that can really spice up your strumming, can really add to a lot.
You know, I had lunch with a couple of players a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying, we have rehearsal, and what we do is we run through the song, and then we run through the next song, and run through the next song, and we don't seem to get any better. And I'm going, yeah, that's right.
Right, yeah.
And then what do we do?
So you can't just run through the song. You have to practice. And this is what I get repeats now, right, that I've seen before, and they go, man, I just really haven't gotten down that chucking thing. And I go, oh, okay, well, do you practice? And they go, yeah, I practice every day. I go, oh, cool. Well, show me something that you're practicing, and maybe I can give you a tip on how to practice it differently. And then they go, well, I mean, I play every day, right? I pick up my uke, and for 15 minutes, I play all my favorite songs. And it's like, now that's not practicing, right? You have to have purposeful practice, is what I tell people. Sit down and know that during this 15 minutes, I'm going to work on a C scale. That's what I'm going to learn. And then play for fun. So the fun and the practice are really kind of two different things. I think we get into, as a just fun instrument, we get into like, oh, I don't know how to play an E, so I'm only going to play an E7. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but just keep in mind that when you eventually have to play an E, it's going to be harder to learn because you're so used to the E7, right? So a thing that we overlook is we go, if it's hard, just forget about it. Don't do it, right? And that's going to, the only reason I tell people that is it's going to stifle the fun you're going to have later. Because later on, and I get a lot of people to go, yeah, but I don't want to be any better. I just want to play these 3 chords. Agreed, right? And when you were a kid, your favorite cereal was Lucky Charms, but you don't eat it every day anymore, right? But then you found out there was bacon, and you're like, oh, I want that bacon, right? So you're learning, you've got C, D, G, and A minor, and you're like, that's all I ever need to know. Okay, but there's a lot of fun songs that have an F in them, you know? So as far as overlooking things, I think we take, if it's possible, we take the fun too far and go, anything that's hard, I'm not going to do because I just do this for fun. Well, the truth is, you'll have more fun if you do that.
And the way to learn difficult things is to do the difficult
right.
things.
Yeah, right, yeah. That's one of those things. Well, take the time to learn it. You know,
Right.
Take the time to do difficult things.
All right, so my last question is one I always ask at the end of anything, and that is, What did I miss? What did you want me to ask you that I didn't ask you? What did I not ask you that you want to talk about?
That I want to send out to the world. Here it is. The thing about this instrument is there is so much love and support and community behind it that play. And whether you're playing for fun or trying to become a professional or whatever, just have fun with it, right? I think that's it, yeah.
All right, so I want you to kind of go over that finger pick. I mean, the way you teach it is really, really cool. So
we'll just, we'll hold a C here, right? And we're gonna go thumb and pointer every time, right? Back and forth, thumb, pointer, thumb, pointer, thumb,
Got it.
pointer. 2 fingers, that's all we're gonna use. So, thumb on the C string, pointer on the E string. So if we go back and forth, thumb, pointer, C, E. We're calling this inside, right? Now all we're gonna do is take that thumb and pointer and move it to the outside. So now we've got the thumb on the G and the pointer on the A. And now keep in mind we're holding the C note,
it's the C
right?
note,
Yeah.
right?
But so we're just going thumb, pointer, G, A, outside, outside. Now if we combine those two, we're doing the quick version here,
Yeah,
right?
cool.
So we combine those two and we go inside, outside. So what I did is I went C,
Cool.
E, G, A. Thumb, pointer, inside, outside, inside, outside. Now,
Learning that, you could spend a whole 15 minutes just going over
right.
just the muscle memory of that.
yes, and that's what I always tell people. And so if we just really quickly, if we went to an F chord,
Right.
so we're holding an F in our left hand, and do the same thing with the right hand. Inside, outside, inside, outside. And go to a G. Inside, outside, in. So the reason I say that is to keep in mind, it doesn't matter what you're doing up here.
Right.
This is still the same. Inside, outside. Right? Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. And that's the rushed version of it. But right there you just heard the song, right?
That's very cool.
We're already doing a song there, you know.
One time I did a seminar and I do a different kind of finger picking.
Right.
And the lady comes up to me, she goes, "What are you doing?" And I went, this, then. She goes, "How do I do that?" And I went, "Just do this, and that." And she goes, "Okay." And for the rest of the time, for an hour, she sat there and tried to do everything. And at the end of that hour, she had it.
She had it down.
She
yeah.
had it.
Yeah. So one of the things we're talking learning techniques for me is I don't even care if you're holding a chord here, but you go inside, outside, and I do that 10 times in a row perfectly,
Cool.
right? So I go 1, 2, 3, right? And even if I get to number 10 and I go 10, oh, dang it. Start over at 1. And the reason I say that, we're talking about muscle memory, right?
Right, exactly.
So you start to do it. Start that slow, you know, if you can get a metronome or whatever, and start it slow. Inside, outside, inside, out. And once you can do that 10 times, then speed up either your thought or the metronome and go, okay, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. And once you can do that 10 times, right, and build from that,
Right.
you know.
Cool.
And then there's other finger patterns. You know, if you were in 6/8 time, you just add 2 more notes, you know, and go on from there.
And work it on
Yeah.
through. Devin, man, great.
Thanks for
Fabulous.
having
I
me. Yeah,
love
that was a good time.
Talking with you, man.
Yeah.
I was so blown away by your performance, and your voice is just magical. But the
Thank
way
you.
you teach is it's engaging and it's great.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
man.
thank you for
I
having
really
me.
appreciate it. I really appreciate you coming to it. Good luck on the road, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Come back and see me.
I will.
All right.
Thank you.
Devin Scott, y'all. Devin
Thank you.
Scott. Yeehaw.